Creating stories like these isn't easy. It takes a lot of effort and sometimes a lot of courage too. When I'm writing or recording these horror stories late at night, it honestly feels like someone is constantly watching me. And while I'm noticing that feeling, I'm also noticing that many of you watching haven't subscribed yet. Not going to lie, it actually hurts a little when people enjoy the stories but forget to subscribe. Okay, that got a little emotional for a moment. But don't worry, because the story I'm about to tell you tonight is definitely not light mode. Once you hear it, there's a good chance you might get goosebumps. So let's begin. But, wait a minute. Before we start, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come on, just one click. Alright, now let's start the story. Now, close your eyes for a moment. Actually, no, don't. Now, this story is real. It happened in the small town of Harlow Creek, Kentucky. A place where the trees grow too close together, where the fog never fully lifts, and where the locals have one unspoken rule: you never go near the old Miller house after dark. Sarah was 26, smart, rational. She didn't believe in ghosts. She didn't believe in curses. She does now. It started the night she found the box. Sarah had just moved into her new apartment on Birchwood Lane, the cheapest place she could find in all of Nashville, Tennessee. The landlord had warned her the previous tenant left in a hurry, left everything behind. She didn't ask why. On her third night there, while moving furniture, she found it, tucked beneath a loose board under the bed. A black wooden box, sealed with red wax, wrapped in cloth that looked like it had been soaked in something dark, and carved into the lid a symbol, like a human figure with its arms stretched wide, but the head was facing backwards. She should have left it alone. She should have burned it, but she opened it. Inside the box was a small glass vial filled with black liquid, a folded piece of paper covered in writing she didn't recognize, a single human tooth, and a photograph. The photograph was of her, not taken recently, not from her social media. This photograph was taken inside this apartment, and she had only moved in 3 days ago. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard it. You opened it. You opened it. Now it knows your name. She turned on every light in the apartment. She called her friend Daniel, who drove over at 2 a.m. because that is what best friends do. Daniel looked at the box. He looked at the photograph. He looked at her. Sarah, he said slowly, this photograph is dated 1987. Sarah was born in 1998. The next morning, Daniel found something on his own doorstep. A piece of black cloth, tied in 3 knots, and beneath it, a note written in red ink that was still wet, that said only 4 words: "She cannot leave now." By the fourth night, things inside the apartment began to move. Not dramatically, not like in the movies. Small things. Her keys on the left side of the table would be on the right by morning. A glass of water, full when she placed it down, empty when she returned. And the mirror in the hallway? The mirror had begun to show her reflection half a second too late, like something was wearing her face and still learning how. She went to the local library and showed the symbol from the box to the elderly librarian, a woman named Miss Grant, who had lived in Harlow Creek her whole life. Miss Grant looked at the symbol. She closed the book she was holding. She stood up. She walked to the window. And then she said, in the quietest, most terrifying voice Sarah had ever heard, "Whoever lived in that apartment before you, they did not just leave, child. They were taken. And the thing they summoned, it's been waiting for someone new to come through that door. But here is the part that will make you check your own room right now." Miss Grant then asked Sarah one question. "Since you opened the box, have you been laughing in your sleep?" Sarah went cold. Because yes, her neighbor had knocked on her door just the day before to ask her to keep it down. He said he could hear her through the walls at 3 a.m. laughing. And Sarah had not once woken up smiling. Miss Grant gave her instructions. She said the only way to break the attachment was to return everything in the box to the place where the ritual was first performed, the old Miller house outside of town, and burn it before 3 a.m. It was already 1:47 in the morning. Sarah ran. Daniel drove. The roads were black, the trees pressed in from both sides, and then the car stalled, right outside the rusted gate of the Miller house. They had no choice. They went on foot. The house was destroyed inside, burned long ago. The walls were black, the floor was ash, and in the very center of what used to be the living room, a perfect circle drawn in white powder, still clean, untouched by rain or time. Something had been protecting it. Sarah placed the box in the circle. Daniel lit the match. And then, from somewhere deep in that house, came a sound. Not a ghost, not the wind, something amused. The fire took the box instantly. The vial cracked. The black liquid hissed. The photograph screamed, a sound that had no place coming from burning paper. And then, nothing. Just rain. Just wind. Just two people standing in a destroyed house at 3 a.m. in Kentucky, hearts slamming against their ribs. Sarah moved out the next morning. She never spoke about the box again publicly until she sent her story to us. She says she's fine now, but she also says sometimes, late at night, she still hears it. Just a laugh, distant, like something far away that is still waiting. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel and lets me bring you more real and terrifying stories. Don't forget to like the video and share it with a friend who loves real horror stories. And if something strange or unexplained has ever happened to you, I'd love to hear about it. You can send your story through the email or WhatsApp listed in the description. Your story might even be featured in a future video.